Naughty and scandalous, the real Mata Hari. What if one hidden secret could reveal the seductive mysteries of history? Could a woman's little-known acts of charm and daring have spun a web of secrets that even spies never imagined? What curious facts about Mata Hari's life, buried in shadows of seduction and betrayal, are waiting to be discovered? Stay with us as we unveil these scandalous, unexpected truths that redefine her legendary allure. Born into modest beginnings in the quiet Netherlands, Mata Hari, originally Margaretha Geertruida Zell, began her journey in a world where strict social rules and limited roles for women defined every step. Growing up, she was acutely aware of the societal expectations that pressed in on every aspect of her life, fueling a quiet determination to escape the ordinary. As she matured, she sensed that her destiny was meant for more than the conventional path laid out before her. In a time when women were often confined to domestic roles, her early life was marked by a restless spirit and a yearning for adventure. How could someone born into a modest family break free from the limitations of her time? This question would come to define her transformation. Determined to find her own voice, she left behind the familiar comforts of her homeland and ventured to Paris, a city that pulsated with the promise of reinvention and hidden desires. In Paris, the air was thick with the scent of revolution and the stirring of modern ideas. The city, vibrant and daring, offered her the perfect stage to rewrite her destiny. Amidst the glimmering nightlife and artistic fervor, she began to shed the remnants of her past identity and immerse herself in an entirely new persona. With each passing day, she adopted the art of performance, combining charm with a hint of danger that captivated those who crossed her path. Her transformation was not merely physical but an embrace of a profound internal metamorphosis that defied societal expectations. Every step of her reinvention was laced with the thrill of seduction and the promise of scandal. It was as if each daring move was a carefully placed note in a symphony meant to disrupt the mundane. In the salons and underground clubs of Paris, her presence quickly became the talk of the town. Her allure was magnetic, an intoxicating blend of mystery and bold defiance. Could it be that her carefully crafted persona was a deliberate act of rebellion against the suffocating norms of her time? As her reputation grew, so did the whispers of scandal and intrigue that swirled around her. The enigmatic dancer had become a living enigma, one who used seduction as both shield and weapon in a world that was beginning to change. Every performance was not only an expression of art but a subtle challenge to the status quo, a quiet revolution set to the rhythm of her heartbeat. As she began to perform in some of the most fashionable venues of the time, whispers of her talent quickly morphed into shouts of admiration. Her routines, a symphony of movement and seduction, broke all conventions. With a gaze that promised untold secrets and a smile that hinted at hidden mischief, Mata Hari commanded the stage and the attention of influential elites. Journalists, artists, and socialites flocked to catch a glimpse of the enigmatic dancer whose every appearance promised scandal and passion. Was it her daring choreography, her unyielding confidence, or the very air of enigma that made her an irresistible figure in a rapidly modernizing world? Every performance was a calculated act of reinvention, designed to tease the boundaries of propriety and ignite the flames of desire. She fused the art of dance with a raw, primal energy that defied expectations, making her not only a performer but a living symbol of liberation and allure. In a time when the roles of women were strictly confined, her defiance was revolutionary, a visual and emotional rebellion that challenged societal norms and left a trail of curious admirers in its wake. Her rise to international stardom was further fueled by the media frenzy that surrounded her every move. Newspapers and magazines, hungry for a scandal, painted her as both a seductress and a mystery wrapped in a riddle, fueling public curiosity with every headline. What was it about her that blurred the lines between art and espionage, between fantasy and reality? The allure of Mata Hari was such that she transcended the realm of performance art, becoming a myth, a symbol of passion, risk, and the eternal quest for freedom. In the wake of her explosive popularity, the stage was set for a life that would be as controversial as it was legendary. Her captivating performances did more than entertain. They invited the world to witness a woman who dared to live beyond the constraints of her era, seducing not just with her dance but with the very idea of possibility. Each night, as she swayed and moved, she wove a spell of glamour and danger, leaving an indelible mark on the collective imagination. And so, the stage was set for a life defined by allure, mystery, and the irresistible pull of the unknown, a legacy that continues to fascinate and provoke even today. Her personal life was marked by a series of controversial relationships that seemed too perfectly aligned with the tumult of the times. Powerful military leaders and high-ranking officials, whose decisions influenced the course of nations, were drawn into her orbit. As these connections deepened, so did the suspicions that she was more than just a glamorous performer. With every whispered liaison and every clandestine rendezvous, the public began to wonder if Mata Hari was playing a dangerous double game, a seductive spying maneuvering between rival camps and a high-stakes game of loyalty and betrayal. As the scandal grew, so did the intensity of the espionage allegations that clung to her like a second skin. Eyewitness accounts of secret meetings in smoke-filled rooms and coded exchanges and hushed tones fed the flames of a media frenzy. Was it possible that her charm was merely a sophisticated mask, concealing an intricate network of secrets and subterfuge? Critics argued that her very presence in these murky circles was proof of a grand design, a masterful manipulation that blurred the line between seduction and espionage. Each new piece of gossip, whether whispered by a disgruntled informant or splashed across the front pages of scandal-hungry newspapers, added another layer to the enigma of her life. The public's fascination only grew as details emerged that hinted at an elaborate dance of deception. Could the sultry smiles and secretive glances have been strategic moves in a covert operation, a silent communication in a world where words were too dangerous to speak aloud? The more questions arose, the more irresistible her mystery became. In this murky blend of seduction and scandal, Mata Hari transcended the role of a mere performer. She became an emblem of forbidden allure, a living myth whose private life was as captivating as her public performances. Each controversial relationship and every secretive encounter fed into the legend, blurring the boundaries between truth and rumor. The scandal and espionage allegations were not just about the risk of political betrayal, they became a symbol of a woman who dared to wield her sexuality as both a weapon and a shield. As each twist in her story unfolded, the line between spycraft and seduction blurred even further, leaving us to wonder. Was her seductive charm a tool of personal liberation or the ultimate disguise for a dangerous game of secrets and lies? The trial of Mata Hari unfolded like a tragic drama, one that captivated the public with its blend of intrigue and injustice. In a courtroom charged with political tension, every detail of her past was dissected, and every whispered rumor transformed into damning evidence. Yet, as the proceedings advanced, it became increasingly clear that the case against her was built more on suspicion and scandal than on solid proof. From the opening statements, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation and controversy. The prosecution painted a picture of a woman who had seduced powerful men and manipulated them for espionage, yet tangible evidence linking her to any concrete act of betrayal was frustratingly elusive. Witnesses offered conflicting testimonies, and critical documents that might have confirmed the allegations remained shrouded in mystery. The lack of clear, indisputable evidence only deepened the enigma surrounding her actions, making it hard to discern fact from propaganda. As the trial progressed, each day brought new revelations and dramatic twists. The courtroom was a stage where every whispered comment and furtive glance between the officials hinted at a broader conspiracy. Some argued that Mata Hari was the victim of a political witch hunt, a scapegoat for the failures and paranoia of a nation at war. Others were convinced that her seductive charm masked a dangerous double life, one that had threatened national security. Amidst this maelstrom of claims and counterclaims, the boundaries between truth and rumor blurred, leaving both the jury and the public questioning whether justice was truly being served. The proceedings were punctuated by a series of shocking testimonies that, instead of providing clarity, only added layers to the already complex narrative. Accusations of espionage were interwoven with tales of her private liaisons, each story more sensational than the last. Yet, for all the dramatic flair, the evidence was as fragile as a mirage, visible, tantalizing, but ultimately insubstantial. How could a life so marked by seduction and scandal be reduced to a series of vague, uncorroborated allegations? The verdict, when it finally came, seemed less the outcome of a fair judicial process and more the culmination of political expediency. In a decision that shocked many and stirred public outrage, Mata Hari was found guilty, her fate sealed by an intricate web of assumptions and half-truths. The dramatic conclusion of the trial set the stage for an execution that was as swift as it was sorrowful. Her final moments were shrouded in the same mystery that had defined her life. In the days leading up to her execution, rumors swirled about last-minute appeals and secret pleas for clemency that went unheard. The execution itself was a stark and brutal end to a life that had been marked by glamour, controversy, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. The chilling finality of her fate left an indelible mark on history, a poignant reminder that sometimes, even the most enigmatic souls can be ensnared by the machinery of power and prejudice. Each twist of her trial and execution not only sealed her fate but also left the world questioning whether the true crime was her supposed espionage or the tragic miscarriage of justice that ended her life.